I always say 75, you're gold till 75.
When you think about the beginning, you're like, let me try this thing.
I never said I'm going to try this. I said, I'm going to do this. For me, there was nothing else. I couldn't do anything else. This is what I could do. And I loved it with all my heart. I was going to do it.
In 1986, Bette Midler made a whole movie crew wait 2 hours because she wanted her character to wear a different color wig. The director begged. The producer yelled. But Bette just smiled and said, "Trust me." The movie made $71 million. That's how Bette always did things, her way or no way. She fought with everyone, threw the wildest parties, and scared the hell out of Hollywood. And guess what? At 79, she's not done yet. Her latest Broadway surprise is making people wonder if she's crazy or brilliant. Bette Midler was born on December 1st, 1945, in Honolulu, Hawaii. Her parents, Fred and Ruth Midler, were part of a small Jewish community in a neighborhood where most families were Asian. Fred worked as a house painter and on a U.S. Navy base, while Ruth stayed home and worked as a seamstress. They named her after Bette Davis, but they pronounced it with just one syllable. She grew up in Aiea, near Pearl Harbor, where she often felt like an outsider because of her background. But the island itself, with its beauty and rhythm, gave her something to hold on to, and so did music and performance. Even as a child, she stood out. In first grade, she sang Silent Night and won an award for it. Her mother saw something in her and encouraged her to lean into it. She started watching old Hollywood musicals and studying the way performers carried themselves on screen. By the time she reached Radford High School, she was impossible to ignore. She talked a lot, took up space, and people noticed. Her classmates voted her most dramatic and most talkative, and she graduated in 1963 as valedictorian. She enrolled at the University of Hawaii at Manoa to study drama. But school wasn't what she was looking for. After 3 semesters, she left. Around the same time, she got a tiny role in the 1966 film Hawaii, an uncredited part as Miss David Buff. The paycheck from that job gave her just enough to make a move that would change everything. She packed her bags and left for New York City in 1965. New York was full of actors trying to make it, but she didn't waste time. She started performing in small off-Broadway productions like Miss Nefertiti Regrets and Cinderella Revisited, taking whatever she could get. In 1966, she landed a spot in the Broadway cast of Fiddler on the Roof. At first, she was just another face in the chorus, but by 1968, she had moved up to playing Seitel. She stayed with the show until 1970, learning the rhythms of the stage and getting comfortable in front of an audience. After leaving Fiddler on the Roof, she found herself singing in an unexpected place, the Continental Baths, a gay bathhouse in the basement of the Ansonia Hotel. It wasn't glamorous, but it was alive. Barry Manilow played the piano while she sang. The audience, made up mostly of men, gave her the space to be loud, playful, and bold. The songs were dramatic, the costumes were over the top, and the humor was sharp. In those years, places like the Continental Baths were more than just entertainment venues. They were sanctuaries. And on that stage, she became the divine Miss M, the character that would carry her forward. Bette Midler's rise to fame wasn't just about talent, it was about presence. From the moment she released The Divine Miss M in December 1972, she had something no one else did. Barry Manilow helped produce the album, but it was Midler's energy that made it stand out. She mixed old classics with new sounds, brought theater into pop music, and turned every song into a performance. People couldn't look away. The album hit number 9 on the Billboard charts, sold over 1 million copies, and went platinum in the U.S. and Canada. It had 3 major hits: Do You Want to Dance?, Friends, and Boogie Woogie, Bugle Boy. That last one was an old Andrews Sisters song from the 1940s, but Midler made it her own. It became her first #1 adult contemporary hit and reached number 8 on the Billboard Hot 100. Critics saw something different in her. Rolling Stone's Robert Christgau said she wasn't just a singer, she was a game changer. She had humor, drama, and emotional depth. A song like Hello in There was raw and heartbreaking. Delta Dawn had a weight to it that pulled people in. She could go from playful to devastating in seconds, and it worked. But it wasn't just the music. It was how she presented it. She created an alter ego, the divine Miss M, a persona that was larger than life but still vulnerable. It was bold, theatrical, and over the top, but it connected with people, especially the LGBTQ+ community. The album's success brought her a Grammy for Best New Artist in 1973, and by the time she accepted the award in 1974, she had already become a major figure in entertainment. Her acceptance speech was full of the wit and charm that had become her trademark. She was unpredictable, a little outrageous, and completely unforgettable. Her concerts became just as legendary as her recordings. She didn't just stand on stage and sing, she turned every show into a spectacle filled with music, comedy, and elaborate costumes. She could make an audience laugh with an off-color joke, then immediately pull them into something deeply emotional. She understood how to control a crowd, making massive arenas feel intimate. The Depression Tour in 1976 captured all of this, and was later turned into The Bette Midler Show on HBO. It was a mix of everything she did best: big performances, unexpected humor, and songs that left a lasting impact. Her success in music was already massive, but Hollywood was about to take notice. Bette Midler's rise to fame in Hollywood started with The Rose, 1979, a film loosely inspired by the life of Janis Joplin. She played Mary Rose Foster, a rock star struggling with fame, addiction, and personal turmoil. The movie was originally meant to be a direct portrayal of Joplin's life, but after her family refused to grant the rights, the script was changed into a fictional story. Midler's performance was electrifying. Her raw emotion and powerful stage presence captivated audiences. She didn't just play a rock star, she became one on screen. Her portrayal earned her an Academy Award nomination for Best Actress and won her a Golden Globe. The film's music was just as unforgettable, especially the title track, The Rose, which became one of Midler's most iconic songs and won her a Grammy. While some critics felt the film's portrayal of fame was predictable, it solidified Midler's reputation as both an actress and a singer. By the mid-1980s, Midler had proven she wasn't just a dramatic actress, she was also a natural at comedy. In 1986, she starred in 2 back-to-back hits, Down and Out in Beverly Hills and Ruthless People. Down and Out in Beverly Hills followed a wealthy family whose lives are turned upside down when a homeless man, played by Nick Nolte, enters their home. Midler played the neurotic housewife, delivering sharp comedic moments while keeping her character grounded in reality. The film became a huge success, earning over $62 million at the box office and marking Disney's Touchstone Pictures' first R-rated hit. That same year, she starred in Ruthless People, where she played a kidnapped wife who turns the tables on her captors. Her chemistry with co-star Danny DeVito and her razor-sharp comedic delivery helped make the film another major box office success, grossing over $71 million. These 2 films established Midler as a comedic force in Hollywood. In 1988, Midler took on a more emotional role in Beaches, a film that told the story of a lifelong friendship between two women. She played C.C. Bloom, an ambitious singer whose bond with Hilary Whitney, played by Barbara Hershey, carries the film's emotional weight. While some critics found the movie too sentimental, audiences connected deeply with its themes of friendship and loss. The film's impact was heightened by its soundtrack, especially Wind Beneath My Wings. Originally written in 1982, the song became a worldwide hit after Midler recorded it for the film. It topped the Billboard Hot 100 and won Grammy Awards for Record of the Year and Song of the Year in 1990. The Beach's soundtrack itself went triple platinum, proving just how much people connected with both the film and its music. To this day, Wind Beneath My Wings remains one of Midler's most beloved songs, often associated with themes of love, gratitude, and remembrance. Bette Midler was already known as a comedic powerhouse when she took on Outrageous Fortune in 1987. The movie, directed by Arthur Hiller, paired her with Shelley Long in a hilarious adventure about two women who find out they're dating the same man. Instead of fighting over him, they team up to track him down, leading to all kinds of wild situations. The film was a huge success, making nearly $66 million worldwide, which was a big deal for a female-led comedy in the 80s. What made Midler's performance even more impressive was that she was pregnant while filming. She started the movie at 3 months pregnant and finished it at 6 months. Instead of taking it easy, she did many of her own stunts, including physically demanding scenes like falling over and scrambling across cliffs. To hide her pregnancy, she wore oversized costumes, including a giant orange jumper. Her comedic instincts were on full display, and one of her unscripted falls in front of a truck was so funny that the director kept it in the final cut. Critics loved her performance, and she won the 1988 American Comedy Award for Funniest Actress in a Motion Picture. She also earned a Golden Globe nomination for Best Actress in a Comedy or Musical. Her energetic, fast-talking style was the perfect contrast to Shelley Long's more reserved performance. The film strengthened Midler's relationship with Touchstone Pictures and cemented her place as one of Hollywood's top comedy stars. A year later, she teamed up with Lily Tomlin for Big Business, a movie about two sets of identical twins who were accidentally switched at birth. One pair grew up rich in the city, while the other lived in a small rural town. Midler played both versions of Sadie, creating two completely different personalities, and her over-the-top comedic style fit the film's ridiculous premise perfectly. Despite mixed reviews, audiences enjoyed watching Midler and Tomlin together, and both actresses were nominated for the American Comedy Award for Funniest Actress in a Motion Picture, with Midler winning the award. The movie made $40 million at the box office, a decent success, though not as big as Outrageous Fortune. Filming wasn't easy. The original plan was to use body doubles for scenes with both sets of twins, but it didn't look convincing. In the end, Midler and Tomlin acted opposite themselves, with clever camera work and editing making it seem like they were in the same scene twice. While it wasn't a huge critical hit at the time, Big Business has since gained a cult following, with fans appreciating its silly humor and Midler's ability to play two completely different characters in the same film. In 1993, Midler took on a very different role as Winifred Sanderson in Hocus Pocus. The film followed three witches who returned to modern-day Salem and cause chaos on Halloween night. She starred alongside Sarah Jessica Parker and Kathy Najimy, and together they created one of the most iconic trio of witches in movie history. Midler's performance was a mix of theatrical comedy and pure mischief. One of the most unforgettable moments was her performance of I Put a Spell on You at a Halloween party, where she hypnotized the crowd into dancing until they dropped. The scene perfectly showcased her ability to mix humor with a show-stopping musical number. When Hocus Pocus was first released, critics didn't love it, but over the years, it became a Halloween classic. It originally made $48 million at the box office against a $28 million budget, but its real success came later through home video sales, TV reruns, and merchandise. Midler has said many times that Winifred Sanderson is one of her all-time favorite roles, and decades later, fans still celebrate her hilarious, wicked performance. Then, in 1996, she starred in The First Wives Club alongside Goldie Hawn and Diane Keaton. The film told the story of three women who had been left by their wealthy husbands for younger women. Instead of falling apart, they joined forces to take revenge, proving that age and experience were their greatest strengths. Midler played Brenda, a tough, sarcastic single mom who had helped her husband build a successful business, only to be cast aside. She had some of the funniest lines in the film, and her chemistry with Hawn and Keaton made the movie even better. Their on-screen friendship felt so real because, off-screen, they genuinely got along. The movie was a massive hit, opening at #1 at the box office and making $181 million worldwide on a modest budget. It also helped reignite the careers of its three leading ladies, proving that female-led comedies could dominate Hollywood. One of the most famous moments from the film was when the three women performed You Don't Own Me by Leslie Gore, turning the song into a powerful anthem for women taking back control of their lives. Bette Midler's journey on Broadway is filled with incredible moments that shaped her career. It all started in Fiddler on the Roof, a musical that had already made history. She joined the cast in 1966 with a small role, but her talent didn't go unnoticed. Just a few months later, in early 1967, she was given a much bigger role as Tzeitel, the eldest daughter of Tevye. She stayed with the show until 1970, performing in one of Broadway's biggest hits at the time. Fiddler on the Roof wasn't just any musical. It was a powerful story about tradition and change that ran for more than 3,000 performances. It won multiple Tony Awards and became a cultural landmark. Midler later said being part of it was life-changing. It taught her the discipline and magic of live theater. While playing Tzeitel, she got to showcase her voice in the famous number Matchmaker, Matchmaker. One of her standout moments came when she performed it live at the 1968 Tony Awards alongside her castmates. It was clear even then that she had something special, a mix of humor and heart that made her performances unforgettable. That ability to bring a character to life with both comedy and emotion would become one of her trademarks. After decades away from Broadway, Midler made a big return in 2013 with I'll Eat You Last, a chat with Sue Mengers, a one-woman show that put her alone on stage for 85 straight minutes. It was a completely different challenge from the big musicals she had done before. The play was about Sue Mengers, a sharp, powerful Hollywood agent who was both hilarious and intimidating. Midler brought the role to life with perfect comedic timing, and audiences loved it. The show became a hit, making back its entire investment in just 8 weeks. She had to hold the audience's attention all by herself, and she did it effortlessly, proving once again that she was a true star. 4 years later, she took on one of Broadway's most legendary roles, Dolly Gallagher Levi in Hello, Dolly. When the revival opened in 2017, it became an instant sensation. Tickets sold out immediately, and the show smashed box office records. Midler's performance was a masterclass in charm, wit, and showmanship. She didn't just play Dolly, she owned the role. Critics couldn't stop raving about her, and in 2017, she won the Tony Award for Best Actress in a Musical. Even though she had been a Broadway legend for decades, this was her first competitive Tony win. She was 71 at the time, proving that age was no barrier to delivering a show-stopping performance. Her time in Hello, Dolly lasted until early 2018, but she returned for the show's final weeks before it closed in August. It was a physically demanding role, but she loved every second of it. Looking back, she called it one of the most rewarding experiences of her career. Midler's Broadway journey has always been defined by her stage presence, her voice, and her ability to connect with an audience. Her vocal range spans over 2.5 octaves, and she's known for seamlessly switching between powerful ballads and comedic moments. Bette Midler has been married to Martin von Hazelberg since December 16, 1984. In a world where Hollywood marriages often crumble, their love story stands out. It wasn't planned, it wasn't conventional, but it lasted. They first crossed paths in 1981 at a concert in Los Angeles, but nothing came of it. 2 years later, fate brought them together again at a club. Even then, von Hazelberg took his time. A whole year passed before he finally picked up the phone and called her. When they finally started dating, everything moved at lightning speed. 6 weeks later, they ran off to Las Vegas and got married at 2 a.m. in a $45 ceremony officiated by an Elvis impersonator at the Starlight Chapel. They never even had wedding photos, at least not until decades later when the chapel unexpectedly found and shared them. Their beginning was impulsive, but their commitment wasn't. They worked hard to build a strong foundation, learning to give each other space while keeping their sense of humor intact. Midler often jokes that one of their secrets is sleeping in separate bedrooms because von Hazelberg snores. It wasn't always easy. In the early years, they clashed a lot. Midler had a bold, brassy personality, while von Hazelberg was more reserved. Their differences led to plenty of heated arguments, but when their daughter Sophie was born in 1986, everything shifted. Family became the priority. Von Hazelberg even left his career as a commodities trader to be more present, supporting Midler's demanding schedule while raising their daughter. He wasn't just a quiet background figure, though. Before stepping into family life, he had his own creative career as a performance artist with the Kipper Kids. But above all, Midler says he became the greatest father who ever lived, teaching Sophie practical skills like cooking and foreign languages. Through all the ups and downs, their relationship endured because they learned to compromise. Midler admits that listening and letting go of small arguments wasn't easy for her, but it was necessary. Bette Midler made a big splash when she returned to television in The Politician. The Netflix series was all about ambition, backstabbing, and the ruthless game of politics. Midler stepped in during the second season as Hadassah Gold, a sharp and fearless political operative who knew exactly how to play the system. She wasn't alone. Judith Light joined her as part of a powerhouse duo navigating a heated state Senate race. The show was known for its biting humor, but Midler brought something extra. She made sure her character wasn't just funny, but powerful, proving that women over 70 could still dominate the screen. Fans and critics loved her performance, and it quickly became one of the most talked-about parts of the season. Just a year later, she took on a completely different kind of role in the Glorias. This time, she wasn't playing a fictional character. She was stepping into the shoes of Bella Abzug, a real-life congresswoman and feminist icon who fought for gender equality with fire and passion. The film told the story of Gloria Steinem's life, with Julianne Moore and Alicia Vikander playing different versions of her. Midler made sure Bella wasn't just a historical figure. She gave her personality, attitude, and the larger-than-life energy that made her unforgettable. The movie premiered at Sundance and later landed on Amazon Prime Video, and critics praised how naturally Midler brought Abzug's fearless spirit to the screen. By 2024, Midler was back to making people laugh with The Fabulous Four, a comedy about lifelong friendships and second chances. She played Marilyn, a woman who shocks her old friends by announcing she's getting married, just months after her husband passed away. The movie, set in Key West, had everything: humor, heart, and an incredible cast, including Susan Sarandon, Megan Mullally, and Cheryl Lee Ralph. Midler and Ralph even performed I Can See Clearly Now together, a special moment that called back to their longtime friendship, which had started during Ralph's Dreamgirls days on Broadway. Fans loved seeing these legends together on screen, and the film proved that stories about older women could still be just as fun and full of life as any blockbuster. Bette Midler's possible return to Broadway in Mame has set off a wave of excitement among fans and critics. If it happens, it could be a spectacular encore to her already legendary career. The last time she took the Broadway stage was in 2017, when she dazzled audiences in Hello, Dolly, and won a Tony for her performance. Now, she's hinted at taking on the role of Mame Dennis in Jerry Herman's beloved musical. In a recent interview, she called the score fabulous and admitted she'd love to do it, though she also acknowledged that live theater at her age would be a real challenge. That hasn't stopped people from dreaming about what a Midler-led Mame revival could look like. Her time as Dolly Levi wasn't just a success, it was a phenomenon. The show shattered box office records at the Shubert Theater and pulled in the biggest advance ticket sales in Broadway history. Critics raved about the way she blended brassy humor with real emotion, making a well-loved character feel brand new. That's exactly why Mame seems like the perfect next step. The role calls for a larger-than-life personality, someone who can bring warmth, wit, and a touch of outrageousness to the stage. That's Midler in a nutshell. The anticipation has been building fast. Fans are flooding social media with their excitement, while Broadway insiders are already speculating about how she might reimagine a role made famous by Angela Lansbury on stage and Lucille Ball in the 1974 film. Some are picturing how she'd put her own spin on Mame's biggest numbers, like We Need a Little Christmas and If He Walked Into My Life. There's no doubt she'd bring something fresh, funny, and deeply moving to the character. Bette Midler has sold over 30 million albums worldwide, making her one of the most successful singers of her generation. Her music career is packed with achievements, including 3 Grammy Awards. She won Best New Artist in 1973, Best Female Pop Vocal Performance for The Rose in 1981, and Record of the Year for Wind Beneath My Wings in 1990. Beyond music, she made a name for herself in acting, earning 2 Academy Award nominations for The Rose and for The Boys. Both performances also won her Golden Globe Awards. On television, she made history with 3 primetime Emmy wins, including one for her emotional farewell performance on Johnny Carson's Final Tonight Show. And when she took on Broadway, she didn't just appear, she dominated. Her performance in the 2017 revival of Hello, Dolly won her a Tony Award for Best Actress in a Musical. She has also been honored with a Kennedy Center Award and the Songwriters Hall of Fame's Sammy Cahn Lifetime Achievement Award, proving her influence extends far beyond just one medium. Born in Honolulu to working-class Jewish parents, she built her career from the ground up, never letting obstacles hold her back. She was inspired by performers like Judy Garland and the Andrews Sisters, but she made sure to develop her own style, one that would go on to inspire countless artists. Lady Gaga and Adele have both credited her as an influence, admiring the way she mixes theatricality with deep emotion. But Midler isn't just about performing. She has always used her platform for something bigger. She's a passionate advocate for environmental causes and LGBTQ+ rights, and her New York restoration project has helped transform rundown city spaces into thriving community gardens. To her, being an entertainer means more than just putting on a great show. It means making a real impact. And that's exactly what she's done.